This is Back Roads of Illinois, server to farmers and ranchers in central Illinois and the Midwest. We're glad you're here. I am Cesar Delgado. The Farm Bill is stalling to Congress in Washington, D.C. on January. In Congress vote down at the E15 year-around, he is joining with me from the University of Missouri's Patrick Westoff, and he is a basketball assistant coach of the variety basketball team of Ottawa Township High School and coach of the tennis team as well. This new segment is bringing you local high school sports on the show. He is joining with us is Matt Gross. This is Back Roads of Illinois, server to farmers and ranchers in central Illinois and the Midwest. The Farm Bill is stalling to Congress in Washington, D.C. on January. In Congress vote down at the E15 year-around, he is joining with me from the University of Missouri's Patrick Westoff. Hey, Pat, how are you?
Hey, very good. Thanks for the opportunity again today.
Mm. How is the cold weather?
It has been very cold here. I live in a house with a very long driveway, so I had a lot of fun shoveling snow a week ago. Not, not so bad today, though.
Of course. Pat, we saw the votes for E15 year-round, and that was turned it down to it. What is your thoughts on this deal with the corn ethanol?
Yeah, we'll see how this evolves. The corn ethanol folks were very hopeful that they'd be able to get legislation allowing E15 use year-round as part of a budget bill that's working its way through Congress. But that didn't happen, at least not this time around. There are some promises for future votes, but it's not clear to me that what the process is going to be to actually get a bill back on the floor with a chance of passage here in the near future. Just lots of uncertainties today with getting much of anything passed in Congress. So we'll see whether or not the folks who are more supportive of E15 year-round are able to succeed.
What was your thoughts on the DJet for last year?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of interesting surprises this past year on the market side in general, right? And there's just a lot of things that are going to happen in front of us as well. Again, many of us were surprised by just how large last year's corn crop proved to be, for example, and we've had all the trade disruption as well. So again, it's been a year of many surprises, and I'm sure more will come in front of us here as well in 2026.
Did we meet somewhere between the ethanol production and the oil industry?
Right, it's been an interesting set of developments here, watching those two groups that have often been at odds with each other in the past come to at least some degree of agreement on support for E15. However, it seems like things are getting hung up in part on concerns about some small refineries and whether or not they will continue to be exempt from the ordinary rules of the renewable fuel standard. We obviously have people on both sides of that who feel very strongly, and whenever that happens, it can be tough to get legislation accomplished.
SAF come to halt from last year, but it's pretty tricky overall. How can we meet some concerns on the paper with our lawmakers?
Yeah, like I said, I think one of the major stumbling blocks has been this issue of small refineries. So people are concerned that if you force the small refineries to do the blending that other larger refineries are required to do, that would make it very tough for those refineries to survive. On the other hand, people in the ethanol industry say that wait a second, if we're going to keep granting lots of these exemptions to the small refineries, it has the effect of undercutting the requirements of the renewable fuel standard. Ironically, the concerns about E15 itself is really not the major thing people are fighting about these days. It's actually this almost side issue that appears to be what's holding things up. So if that can be resolved, maybe things can go forward. Instead, I think an important challenge, though, is that the most likely way for a bill to have gotten done in the near future has now passed. You know, when they did the budget a different way, that took away one possible way this could have gotten accomplished. It's very difficult to see how Congress will be able to consider standalone legislation that focuses only on this issue and get it through the legislative process in a timely manner. But I've been surprised before, so we'll see what happens.
Do you have some updates on the new worm for right now?
I think I just know the same things we're all seeing in the press, where there's definitely concern about the presence of the screwworm in northern Mexico, the additional efforts that USDA has made to release sterile flies, both in Mexico and on the U.S. side of the border, to try to provide a barrier that make it tougher for them to come into the U.S. As long as this remains a threat, it would be very difficult to see how we would reopen the border to imports of Mexican cattle anytime soon. And as long as the U.S. market remains closed to Mexican feeder cattle imports, that tends to reduce supplies of cattle in the U.S. market, which tends to boost cattle prices, as we've seen. We throw into the mix there. We also had fewer cattle in the inventories in a recent USDA report. So all those things are saying we have less beef supplies, both in the short term and longer term, than might have been expected even just a few weeks or months ago.
What is the cash cattle side in the north?
The cash cattle prices, I don't have it in front of me right now, but definitely has been very strong. So again, with reduced numbers of animals out there, that supported the price. It's really a question of whether what's been exceptionally strong demand will continue. It's pretty remarkable that per capita demand for beef has hardly changed at all the last couple of years, in spite of very large increases in consumer level beef prices. So if that strength of demand continues, that's a very positive thing for U.S. cattle producers.
How about the lean hogs markets? What is your thoughts on it?
On hog markets, again, we've seen some inventory issues there as well, where supplies were maybe not quite as big as had been anticipated at one point. Hog market, has been gyrating up and down a lot the last few years, with some periods of strong profitability for industry and other periods of actual losses being incurred by a lot of hog producers. I do expect in the longer term we will see returns being down to a more normal level, just a few dollars a hundredweight as being an average return across a multiple year period of time. But if you ask what's going to happen the next few months or even the next year or two, it's proven to be more difficult than it was in the past. I think we've had a harder time getting a good handle on just what supplies really are out there. We often find that one USDA report will seem to be contrary to the one prior to it. This is not a new development, of course, but I think it's become even a bigger problem in recent years. This is not any slight at USDA. It's just a nature of the industry issue that has made it more difficult to collect good data that help people make good decisions.
Do you have any final thoughts on the balance sheet on the corn acreage and the farm bill?
Sure. I think we're all watching to see what the acreage projections are going to be for 2026 and beyond. We'll have, of course, USDA's intentions report at the end of March as one thing to look at. I think, just given how many acres of corn we planted in 2025, just ordinary rotational concerns would suggest that we probably will have a bit of a pullback in 2026. And I think our own factory's projections will probably show that, but how big that reduction will be is very much open to question. While we've seen weak prices for corn, we've also seen weak prices for soybeans and for wheat and for many other products. So there's not a lot of obvious places people should be trying to shift their acreage to. So I think we will see a drop in corn acreage, but not as severe as we might have thought it might have been had demand for soybeans or demand for some other product been stronger than it is right now.
What is going on with the CPR program?
The CRP continues, of course, under the Farm Bill. We are seeing increased number of acres that are in the what's called the grassland reserve, which still allows people to graze that land, and fewer acres are in the conventional CRP, the one that has taken cropland out of production in the past. So the CRP, while it's still important, is probably not as important to crop markets as it would have been even 5 or 10 years ago.
Thanks, Pat. I enjoyed our conversation.
Thanks for the opportunity, Cesar. It's always good to talk to you.
This is Patrick Stoff from the University of Missouri. This is Back Roads of Illinois server to farmers and ranchers in central Illinois and the Midwest. He is a basketball assistance coach of the variety basketball team of Ottawa Township High School and coach of the tennis team as well. This new segment is bringing you local high school sports on the show. He is joining with us is Matt Gross. Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Matt, let's start with our conversation about this basketball season. How is this season in the Elite Eight?
The season's going well. I am with on the varsity with Mr. Cooper and Coach Bartman, and we are one game above 500 right now, and we've been playing well lately. We had a tough loss at Rochelle this past Friday night on a buzzer beater. We played really well, and they just happened to make a shot from the volleyball line just inside the half court line for a three that put them up. They ended up winning by two, I believe, because of that three. So that was a bummer. But like overall, as far as wins and losses go, we've had, like I said, we're one game above 500. We have a big game tonight against Morris, and it's an important game because they are in our sectional, so it's important to do well against those teams. We've played LP this year twice, once at the Plano Christmas tournament and once over there, and they beat us both times. They're a tough matchup for us. But we're going to see them again here in a couple weeks, and we have a good chance. We can beat them. We just have to play well. And we have great kids on the team. Uh, we have one sophomore who is our starting point guard, and then we have another sophomore who gets some playing time as well. Um, but the rest are juniors and seniors. And one kind of cool thing is that I've been with our seniors since their sophomore year because their junior year was my first year on varsity, which was last year. So um, I feel especially connected to them, and that's been a lot of fun working with those guys. They're just really good kids, as they all are. So very thankful to work with the group and to work with Coach Bartman and Coach Cooper. They're fabulous, and so we're trending in the right direction. I think we'll continue to play well, and hopefully the boys stay healthy, and it's just going well.
What is the record for this season in the conference, Matt?
Yeah, I believe we're either 9-8 or 10-9, and in conference. Um, we're about, man, I don't have that exact number right now, but we are above 500. We've lost to Canelan, but so has most everybody else. They're really good. We lost to Sycamore. and that was a close one. Um, and they're really good. Rochelle, they're really good. And like I said, we just lost to them the other night. Um, so we've had and then we lost LP. So we just have a really good conference. Our conference is real strong.
Yes. I remember that you are a tennis coach of Ottawa Township High School. Are you ready for this season?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we I just had a meeting with the boys last week, and um the we're going to have about oh, I don't know, we'll have about tw hopefully about 20 guys playing this spring, which is a decent number, um and we'll be okay. We've got a couple seniors, a few seniors who are two of them in particular have put a lot of time into improving their game in the off season, which is really important. So we'll have good leadership, and we got some young guys coming in and who are ready to roll. So tennis starts March 2nd. So pretty quickly right after the basketball season for us. And yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Tennis is always a fun time for me too.
What days are you starting with this tennis season? And what's the class for this year?
We start Monday, March 2nd, and we are in Class A for tennis because of our enrollment. We are in the smaller class, which thankfully we are because otherwise we'd be playing schools like up in the suburbs, and we're place schools where kids do a lot of indoor hitting during the winter time, which we have one indoor court in Peru, and it's pretty tough to get in there. And so we play mostly against teams that they have the same opportunities that we have as far as some of the bigger schools. They have a lot of those kids are pro taught, they're taught by professionals that they pay for indoor court time and all that stuff. So we'll be in Class A, and we start March 2nd. It wraps up at the end of May. And like I said, we got some talent at all levels, so we're looking forward to it.
Like in Peoria area in Washington Morton about small school.
Yeah, those schools actually are really strong in tennis because they have Peoria so close. So even though they're smaller schools, like we have Metamora in our sectional, and we'll play them during the regular season too. But um, and Dunlap, like those schools have finished in the top three in state recently in tennis because um, a lot of their kids they hit all winter, and again they're pro taught. Some of them are pro taught because they have, like I said, Peoria is 30 minutes away, so they can get some. They have some opportunities that our kids just don't.
No.
Yeah, I was out visiting family, and I had scheduled this hunt, of course, and I ended up shooting it was uh, like a chocolate, no, more like a cinnamon color black bear in Idaho, and it was awesome, and um, it's so fun. I can't wait to go back out there and hunt, but. I we've really enjoyed the back straps from the bear, and I got some salami made out of it. It actually tastes very good. I wasn't expecting it to taste as good as it is.
That's awesome stuff, Matt.
Yeah.
What is your final thoughts about this basketball season with the head coach, Mark Coach? He is retiring for this year.
Yeah, it's just been fun. I've been with Coop since I started here. This is my 30th year teaching here at the high school, and I've coached basketball most of those years. I took a few years off when my sons were born, but otherwise, this will be my last season of coaching basketball. Um, so it's been good. As far as overall, I've totally enjoyed my time coaching basketball. Um, and especially with Coop because he's such a good guy and he does things the right way and I've always been proud to to support what he has established. So um I'm hoping that we can finish strong. I'm hoping that the boys can play to their potential and we maybe be nice to catch a break here and there and not have to deal with any more buzzer beaters with like we did Friday night. But so yeah, it'll be I'm optimistic that maybe we can do well here and be playing in that regional championship game against probably Kankakee in February.
Thanks for your visit. I had fun with you on today.
For sure. Thanks for having me on, Caesar. I appreciate it.
This is Matt Gross from Ottawa Township High School in Ottawa, Illinois. I am Cesar Delgado on Back Roads of Illinois.